meeting to order. This meeting is held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act 10:4-6 at SEEK. Annual notice having been forwarded to the New Jersey Herald and the New Jersey Sunday Herald and posted on the bulletin board maintained in the municipal building for public announcement. Could you please rise and join me in a salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Here.
Mr. Cirillo.
Here.
Mr. Dellarina.
Here.
Ms. Crock. Here. Mr. Kusevich.
Here.
Mr. Rosti. Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Wagner. Mr. Mezzaluski.
Here.
Councilman Smith. Mr. Spitaletto. Mayor Galati. Chairman Wright.
Okay, we have a call. Okay, minutes. The motion is in order to approve the meeting minutes of August 6, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Abstain.
Mr. Sherlock.
Yes.
Mr. Dellarina.
Abstain.
Ms. Crock.
Yes.
Mr. Kusevich.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Mezzaluski.
Yes.
Chairman Wright.
Yes. All right, next item on the agenda is bills. Mont McDonald, Dolan, and New Jersey Herald. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Sherlock.
Yes.
Mr. Dellarina.
Yes.
Ms. Crock.
Yes.
Mr. Kusevich.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Mezzaluski.
Yes.
Chairman Wright.
Yes. Okay, next item is resolutions. First resolution we have is Garangelo, 251 Lakeside Boulevard. The hearing date was 7/16/2024. Do I have a motion to approve that resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Sherlock.
Yes.
Mr. Dellarina.
Yes.
Ms. Crock.
Yes.
Mr. Kusevich.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Mezzaluski.
Yes.
Chairman Wright.
Yes. Next resolution is Peralta, 1 Lakeside Drive. The hearing date was 7/16/2024. Do I have a motion to approve that resolution?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Sherlock.
Yes.
Mr. Dellarina.
Yes.
Ms. Crock.
Yes.
Mr. Kusevich.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Mezzaluski.
Yes.
Chairman Wright.
Yes. Okay, next item is escrow refunds. We have none. Correspondence, do we have any correspondence? Nothing? Okay, zoning officers report? Nothing? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none. Old business? New business? Okay, we'll move on. First application tonight is a continued application, 226 Lakeside Ave LLC, 226 Lakeside Ave.
This application was continued from our July 16th meeting. The board asked the applicant to confirm with the county health department that Sun Septic would approve 6 bedrooms. The applicant proposed to expand the number of bedrooms from 4 to 6. It's a duplex, so it would be 3 and 3. But the applicant has provided revised plans because the county didn't authorize that. The floor plans have been revised and circulated that would provide for 2 bedrooms in each unit, so they continue 4 bedrooms. That right?
Yes, correct.
There's a swear to member.
Yes, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
We had Mr. Heffley here at the last meeting. Mr. Heffley's daughter's birthday is today, so he asked if he could just have his witnesses come in, and I think we can do that.
Okay.
Because we heard the substance
Okay.
of the application previously.
Sure. So legal name is Giovanni Manilio, Giovanni, last name Manilio, Manilio, with Mantera Design, and I'm the civil engineer on the project. Qualifications of a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from Syracuse University. Licensed in the state for the past 16 years and in still in good standing. Testified in front of numerous boards, and I testified in front of this board about 2 years ago.
Okay, very good.
So what I have on the easel right now is what was submitted as part of the application. It's the variance plan entitled 226 Lakeside Avenue with a date of March 14th, 2024. No changes to this. I'll just use it for presentation purposes. On the left side is the existing conditions, and on the, the site plans, and on the right is the grading plan. There's actually not much being done on the site itself. So the property known as 226 is block 7020, 2020, lot 12, located in the R1 single family zone. It's approximately 40 feet wide and 225 feet deep, surrounded by residential on either side and the lake to the east. There's several pre-existing nonconformities on the site. One of them is being the use. It's a two-family house where single family is permitted. Lot size, 15,000 square feet is required, where 9,029 square feet is existing. Lot width of 124 feet is required, where 40 feet is existing. Side yard of 10 feet is required, where 3.2 feet is existing. It's the side yard for accessory structures, 15 feet is required, 1 foot is existing. Lot coverage, 35% is permitted, where 42.3% is existing. And distance from the lake, 50 feet is required, where 0 feet is existing. I'll go into a little more testimony, but there's no changes to any of those pre-existing nonconformities with this application. I do want to note 2 of the environmental constraints on the property. So the flood hazard elevation for this is 928 based on the new flood hazard rules. And that essentially comes up to the rear of a block wall that's behind the property over here, approximately. Additionally, there's a 150-foot riparian zone from the lake, which encompasses the existing house that's on the site. As far as what's being proposed this site, the roof is being raised on the house. There's no changes to the footprint. The footprint's not getting wider, it's not getting bigger. We're taking the second floor roof and raising it up, and then doing interior modifications into the building or into the house. It's staying as a 2-family. It's staying as a 4-bedroom, as previously stated. At the last meeting, there were some questions about the septic and if it had capacity to increase the bedrooms. It does not. The capacity is at a 4-bedroom, which we are keeping it at today. And as far as flood hazard rules, this would be fall under permit by rule 10 for construction outside of flood hazard area, but within a riparian zone. There is no site disturbance. Everything again is on the building itself. As far as conformance, we are going to be asking for the same variances for side yards, since the walls are going up on the existing house, 3.2 feet and 4.5 feet on either side, where 10 feet is required. Combined side yard of 7.7 feet, where 10 feet is required. And again, expansion of a non-conforming use by raising the roof on the structure. Other than that, there's no other site improvements proposed. We did have a chance to review the letter that was prepared by Mott McDonald. I think the only comment that was offered was to provide silt fence, and we have no issues with that or any type of soil erosion measures that are required.
Did we establish that there was pre-existing 2-family structure on this? I mean, did it predate zoning or?
We actually went through the files today because that actually popped into my head. I discussed it with Mr. Haggerty. But there's no evidence of any resolutions, in certifying the 2-family use as a pre-existing.
I mean,
We treat this just as a special use variance, then if we don't establish that fact, I don't think there's been any testimony as to the age of the building or.
I think we need something to verify that it's a 2-family.
Anybody's going to help us out with that. It's here.
If they have some documentation that, I don't know if you have that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if my client does. He purchased the house last year to be utilized as a 2-family. I know it's separated. I'm sure there's separate utilities on the site as far as the legality and if it was approved by the board or prior to. I don't know that answer.
Also, I understand the house has been vacant for quite a amount of time.
I have to defer to the architect. I'm not too sure about the interior and how long it's been occupied or not occupied.
I think the neighbors had said that it's been
Okay.
unoccupied for a period of time.
I can testify to that.
If we get the applicant come up and answer any of those
Okay.
questions if you need to. Do you want at this point?
Are you finished with your testimony?
Yeah, my testimony is complete.
Okay, all
Unless there's
right,
other questions.
absolutely, come forward. Yep.
Hey, how you doing? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony about you'll be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your name, sir?
My name is Ricardo Sosa. Last name is Sosa.
Are you the owner?
Yes. I purchased the property last year, July 23rd, last year, 23. When I purchased the property, it has two tenants in it, one on the left side, one on the right side, because they're duplex. Those tenants been on the property one tenant was there over 20 years, the other tenant was there over 10 years.
Okay.
And we had everything separate metered. So you got the separate light meters, and you also have separate propane tanks on each side of the property.
I mean, Bill, should we have some type of documentation now or some, or an attempt?
If
To-
they don't
to-
provide it, they've got to provide some justification to create a two-family, which is a little bit tougher.
You see, we don't know when this became a two-family. If there's any type of documentation before 1959 that says it was a two-family, then it predates zoning, so we would have to approve it. Unless there was a variance at some time, some period between then and now to allow a two-family use on that property, I don't know. So I don't know if I could, move forward as a two-family structure, Bill, without having some form of an attempt to show us that it,
Yeah. Oh, I have a question. I'm not sure if I should be posing it here, but as far as taxes and how the tax records show, is it shown as a two-family in the tax records?
you gotta bring that to us.
I'm just-
We have to roll it all the way back to before the.
So the way the house is designed, it has a party wall in the middle, and it has two separate steps.
Okay,
So it wasn't designed as a,
I get that. I get what it is, but we don't know when it became a two-family house. I mean, it's in an R1 zone. It's only supposed to be a single-family house in that zone. So at some point, it became a two-family house. So we would need some type of, go back, find some old tax records, go back as far as you can to bring it here and say, okay, here, we have that it was a two-family house in 1956, then fine, we can proceed as a two-family structure, but right now, I don't know if we can move ahead as a two-family, as a two-unit property.
So what you're being asked to do is what everybody's being asked to do, and that is provide the historic tax records, see if there's any records that bear upon this, if it's always been rented, was it constructed as a two-family? Was it renovated to be a two-family? Check the construction office records, check the tax records, whatever historical
Right.
sources you can investigate.
So I guess my question is, if it's currently on the tax records as a two-family, is that not justification enough as?
No, you have to go back you have to show us when it became a two-family. And go back as far as you can. I mean, if there's, like I said, if there's documentation before 1959, if there's an old tax card in there that says it was a two-family thing, then you're good. But we don't know when it became a two-family. Yeah, it's a two-family now, but when did that happen? So you have to do a little homework and research that.
You have your architect here tonight, is that right?
That is correct.
Your architect is just going to tell us about the internal layout.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
We can let him, we can take the
Finish him up
testimony
and-
and,
yeah.
and we'll have to wait till we get some type of, before we make a decision.
Can we make a decision based on the fact that potentially it is a legal two-family? So he doesn't.
Well,
have to
that's
come
kinda-
back.
Let's make sure they have
Yeah.
the records, yeah.
Yeah, let's,
All right, it's only because the third time he's gonna have to come back, so I'm just trying to say.
But
I
just
don't
on
know
that, just on that point, I mean, when the application was submitted, I mean, I'm a new guy, I just assume it's complete, but in the application, you said it was public sewer. It was not. In the application, it asks for commencement of this non-conforming use date, and none was provided. So just on the going forward,
Yeah.
a complete document would be helpful.
Good point.
yeah, I don't know how, or how it slipped through without that. How and when did it become a two-family? So I don't think we can take your architect's testimony, but I don't think we're gonna make any decision till you come back and show us.
Well, it sounds like we have two choices. We could do that, or we could put the justifications for the two-family
Well, no, I
right.
think you want the history.
Yeah, I'm,
But perhaps the architect can explain the change.
Okay.
This was already presented, and you reconfigured the room layout to reduce it from 6 to 4 bedrooms. I think that's what you're here for. Is that right?
From the previous,
Meeting.
mhm.
Yeah. All right, well, I mean, I
Why
guess we
don't we do
can,
that so they don't have to bring the
Yeah,
architect
we
back?
can, we can take your testimony.
You took it right here. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
In your name, sir.
Sure. Well, my name is Paulo Dantas. First name is Paulo, Paulo. Last name is Dantas, Dantas. Graduated from the New Jersey Institute of Technology in 2002, the bachelor's in architecture. Have been licensed since 2002. I have testified in various boards, Essex, Hudson, Middlesex, but it will be my first here, and my license is current.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the property is located at 226 Lakeside Avenue. The project scope consists of an addition and alteration to an existing two-story duplex. And our presentation is the same that was submitted to the board. No alteration has been made. Sheet 8200. There are existing basement, first floor and second floor plans. Our existing basement plan is consists of an existing recreational space accessible from the first floor above. And also the basement also has a walkout basement providing access to the rear of the yard. Our existing first floor plan, the existing first floor plan has a main entrance into a vestibule, which provides the access to the two dwellings. Within each dwelling, it enters to a kitchen area, existing living area, an enclosed sunroom at the rear, and also each apartment has its own stair access, not only to the basement, but also to the second floor. Our existing second floor plan has two bedrooms within the slope roof, a stair in the center of the dwelling with the party wall, giving access to accessibility to the second floor. Sheet A210. Basically, we show the front and the rear elevations and also some existing photos of the side of the elevations. This is just to demonstrate not only the existing volume of the dwelling, to show and to reflect it, to compare with the proposed elevations that we're trying to accomplish here.
These are all.
These are all existing conditions,
These are all supported.
as is. Again, sheet page 211 is the side view, the side elevation within the existing conditions. Sheet A300. A300 is what we're proposing. We have a proposed basement first and second floor plan. On our basement, we are proposing an open recreation area. The right unit along will have a laundry, half bathroom, and a mechanical room. The left unit will propose also a laundry room and a mechanical room. Off to the recreation area, existing outdoor area is accessible by two gliding doors. The proposed first floor plan, again, within the existing volume and square footage, we are proposing the existing main entrance vestibule is to remain, which will provide protection from the weather elements. For each area, we are proposing an open plan concept, a formal living room and a bathroom, single sink, toilet and shower, adjacent to the foyer, followed by an open kitchen and living area. The existing stairway is to remain to have accessibility to the second floor and basement. At the rear of the home, the living area, we have sliding doors to provide access to a wooden deck. The living room will include a prefabricated fireplace. We're thinking more like electrical, just for aesthetics. And the first floor ceiling height, it will be existing 8 feet and 4 inches. The proposed second floor we have a proposed 2 bedrooms, which includes a master bedroom consisting of a walk-in closet and master bathroom. And the second bedroom will have access to a hallway bathroom. And then we're proposing sliding doors at the master bedroom to provide access to a wooden deck. The master bedroom is also to include another prefabricated fireplace, electrical most likely. A300. The total height of the dwelling is to align with the existing ridge, which is approximately 21 feet 9 inches from the ridge of the main roof. So where we actually depicting is that we're taking the pitch that was pretty much 12 on 12, and we made it a little bit more shallow, as you can see, is demonstrated on the illustration of the 2 facades, the rear and the front, but still maintaining the existing height. Also, the characteristics and material selection was based on the owner's design. Some materials that we're looking to do, it's more of a composite, the AZEX, the Hardy boards, more of a synthetic culture stone. And we're looking to also put aluminum roofing system on the throughout the whole roof, the main roof. The proposed design was not only for vertical and horizontal movement, having various facade depths to eliminate the monolithic and continuous structure. And we're looking to break this down by having some of the front entrance canopies and also a couple of decks in the rear to create an aesthetic, more pleasing facades. And I believe we also have the side. So what we're actually demonstrating is the existing home, and the shaded areas is the volume that we're increasing within the second floor footprint. I can go back to the front. Sheet 100, then there's a depiction of the rendering of what we're looking to do with the home.
A question. The difference between the original design on the first floor and the new design, to me, it seems like you just took the bedrooms, removed the door, and called it a formal living room.
That's correct.
Okay. There was no attempt to reimagine based upon the constraints of the space?
Well, so when initially we had designed that, what we called it a bedroom these days, and at times it becomes almost like a little bit a variation of what that is. At times we call it a bedroom, office, or formal living room. We feel that these days we're having a lot of people working from home, especially our client. An office is always needed. A formal area was also needed. So we took the advantage of, yes, removing the wall in the closet, but it's still giving him the space that he may need.
Well, it wasn't removing a wall, it was removing a door and maybe scooching it over.
No, I completely removed the wall, and I believe there was also a closet.
Okay.
So we took all that out, but still give that flexibility if he's looking for office space, which in the summer he may be there the entire time. He still could conduct what he needs to do in his daily life.
Again, the impression that I get is that.
Also, the space is so small.
Right, but
It's-
you could have imagined it as a smaller, single family structure, couldn't you? I mean, if you were reimagining it.
In what sense?
Well, I mean, a pre-existing condition, it means that basically prior to the zoning law, you get an extra consideration not to be held accountable to, I guess, current design requirements. And correct me if I'm wrong. But that's just to help the existing person move forward with their structure. It doesn't mean that you get to take all the extra room and everything else. The right you have is for the right that's pre-existing, no more. Right? So if you had a house that is existing 2 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, 3 feet, is it 3 feet from the next house over?
Yes, I think it is. But that's
3 feet is like this, right?
understood, but when we increased, let's say we took out the roof and so we had the roof and we have the 2 bedrooms, correct?
Mhm.
So those bedrooms get cut quite a bit.
Mhm.
And we're looking to also have a bathroom maybe up there,
Mhm.
to accommodate those 2 bedrooms. And also we decided to put another one, at least for the hallway.
But,
So
but
we,
if you're not expanding the space, you could reimagine it within the existing space. And I believe the original January application requested simply dormers rather than a full second floor.
because once we start getting into the dormers,
But I mean, you understand just the idea.
I do.
I was following your documentation going forward.
right.
And now we
And
have this.
I don't think I took advantage. What I did is, once I had that roof being cut, and initially I had the dormers, it almost has the same effect that we're doing right now. So the increase of the volume that we're doing on the second floor from the previous existing, it's just the addition of the 2 bathrooms that we're looking to have a proper, bedroom set up on the second floor. We're not looking to increase the height over what the existing roof has. Having the dormers, as previously you mentioned on the early design, it still cuts up quite a bit of the roof, and then the bedrooms still don't have that accommodation. We have like the 7-10 feet kind of rule. That's, it's a minimum bedroom considered per code, but why go to a 7-10 foot bedroom with a queen size and things like that?
But because the structure is already taking advantage of benefits that other people in the community don't have.
But that's the other thing too. We didn't really stretch it all the way to the outbound to the footprint. We kept it as tight as possible, but still making just the accommodation. Nothing else, because I believe you could see on the second floor, we didn't go to the outbounds of the footprint, correct?
Yeah, you're a couple feet in from the,
Yeah, we pushed it in, and as you can see, we cut it as much as possible. Now, this is not just to make it look, pleasing or anything. It's just, we're just trying to take advantage is the bathrooms. And we stretched it as much as possible, but also considering that, yes, we are close to the neighbor. Yes, we're not also taking advantage of making this house larger than it needs to be.
Well, I don't want to monopolize, so if anybody else has questions.
I have a
Go right
question.
ahead.
What's the purpose of the shower in the downstairs bathroom?
I think that our intention is, when the owner is either in the yard or something like that from the front, because the way this works and it slopes down, we have this huge front yard. In order to get to upstairs to take a shower, I don't think it's, we always take advantage of the first floor, just as you're coming from this level in order to be able to just take a shower. It's not for any purpose of living area, but it's more for accommodation. If you come from the yard or things like that, you actually, dispose the clothes, you take a shower there, and then you just, leave.
So I know you guys scaled back in the bedrooms. Are you still keeping 7 bathrooms?
Well, it's a little, so let's say it's 3 bathrooms per dwelling,
Plus the basement.
half bathroom.
Right.
3 bathrooms,
Let's see that.
for
Yeah,
2
for a 2-bedroom
bedrooms
house, yeah.
with showers.
Yeah. Yes. Well, one has a tub and the other one shower. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, listen, they're taking a door out of a bedroom.
I know, and
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've been on your side when I put the second floor on my house, and I don't know, there's just some things to me, being maybe not so experienced as everyone else, that just kind of telegraph, hey, in a year, put up some walls and you got your bathroom.
Well, I would like to say that could be a common thing if you're renting or things like that, but I think because the owner is also keeping it and trying to also diversify this area too, I think it's good to also have a space. If I just shift everything down and then we have the spaces here, then we have an open area, correct? To put an office there, I don't think to me, it makes sense at that point. So yes, we did take the wall, we did take the closet. I think it would have been benefit for him as a resale, but I think it also was to be used as other items too, like an office or things like that. not necessarily to have an additional person living there.
I mean, their testimony is that it's gonna remain a four-bedroom structure
correct.
total, so, you know, I don't think we can really control what happens inside the house once we're done with it. You know, if they,
No, I'm not saying in this case, but in future,
Oh, no.
50 years from now.
And I believe this is not the first time I've been asked variations of, I remember when we do, sometimes we do basements, we have a sliding door, they're like, oh, is anybody gonna live there if we have a kitchenette, correct? I think sometimes owners want that flexibility, but then, yes, you could see that. But in this case, as me and the owner designing this, there's no intention of adding an additional person living because it's just him and his wife. The kid's already grown up, that's why the other duplex is for them. You know?
so
That's-
is the applicant stating that he is gonna live in this structure?
That's for him to keep.
We can't
No.
require that. We've got to anticipate that at some time that might not happen, won't happen. And at some time it may be straight rental. So what they intend tonight may not be what they intend 2 months from now. Life changing.
But for us, at this current moment, we're testifying that it is for him and the adjacent is for the kids.
Going back to the shower and the bathroom downstairs, given the fact that it's gonna be a formal living area as opposed to a bedroom, it didn't make more sense to make the bathroom a little bit smaller, because that formal living area is pretty small to start with. It
Kinda
didn't
like
make
a
more
half
sense to
bath.
take the shower out, put a half bath in and make that formal living area bigger. I mean, I think that would.
Okay. I mean, it seems like the client, if this is a situation that, you know, it bothers everyone, I definitely would take out the shower. Just to comfortability, more comfortable. That in the future will not be a bedroom down there. Do that have bathroom.
They have to find out first if this was pre-existing conditions
Yeah,
or not.
Yeah, that's
a
fine,
small
but
part of
that's
it.
away from this testimony.
I,
Okay.
I mean, is everybody satisfied with the architect's
Yeah.
testimony? Do you need any more from him? Does anybody have any
well,
questions
I
of him?
just, one other question. I think one of the issues by having instead of you know, a roof, another full second structure so close to houses on either side. Did you feel the location of the chimney on the house next to it being so close to the window presents certain carbon dioxide issues for the residents of that house?
No, we did not. Because a lot of these windows that we're showing, they're windows in the bathroom. And most of the time, we don't open those.
But there's also a patio area on the second floor? Is that-
A deck area here,
Right, so,
but I believe the house does not, I don't believe it goes this way, it's more in line.
well, yeah, but I'm talking about the flue for the chimney.
From the adjacent neighbor or from
Yeah,
us?
from the house next door. I mean,
No, we didn't find that to be an issue, no.
so that will not be an issue.
Not that I see.
I don't know, maybe it's more for the,
I think it's for Bill O'Connor, the construction official, to take a look at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because normally you need a certain amount of distance between
yeah,
the chimney and the window.
I-
When
I
we
have some
when we have a
photos if
distance-
it's helpful. Yeah, so I just, maybe some to share and some to give to you guys. You know, again, I'm just kind of more odd that I always look at the houses next,
These photographs you're handing out. Who took the photographs?
I did,
Okay, we're gonna mark this as
you know, just,
B1 for board one. There's 3 photographs here. When were these photographs taken?
one where they did last week.
Okay.
So, you know, the concern, you know, is that the chimney, if I'm looking at the window, you know, and again, if the chimney was like 50 feet away, big deal. But these houses are, you could probably touch them like this, you know, well, it's a little stretch,
John,
but
did you look at
certainly.
that, John?
I mean, those houses up there are like that, you're not gonna change that, obviously.
But right now with the roof line, there's no windows that are, the smoke would go right over it.
And that's fine, I mean, if we get to a really, a condition in that sense, then the windows don't have to be operable either, but I don't think
but I don't think that's gonna make the difference.
Well, I think if it gets to that point, I think Bill O'Connor will address those and say, listen, you can't have the window there, you have to move
Take
it.
care of it, if there's a proximity to the property line, we know we have to fire rate things. and stuff like that. So we're already. We'll come in for that.
Go ahead, Bill.
I actually discussed that with Mr. O'Connor this morning.
Okay.
And quite frankly, up to very recently, he would not have had any authority to do anything with regard to the chimney and the ability of that chimney to draw with the nearby structure that could affect it. He didn't have a chance to get into it today to double check, and he said he would. There have been some changes in the code that potentially give him the ability to possibly even require the person doing the expansion to actually raise the chimney next door. That's not a guarantee if this, I mean, he believes that's what it says.
Yeah,
So
but, I mean,
there'll be
there's no-
time for us to figure that out before the next.
There's no guarantee the neighbor next door wants you, I mean, to accommodate
Yeah.
someone else. I mean, I think Bill O'Connor would certainly have to look at it if it gets that far.
Anything that the board does with the conditional
Yeah.
on construction permit is based upon the plans that we review.
Okay, so I think as far as the architectural part, I'm satisfied with the architect. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, we're good. Thank you.
So I don't know if I can put this on the record. So I did have a chance to look through some of the Board of Health records for the property.
Okay.
So that's all online. So we did find records that there was a permit issued back in July 2nd, 1984, about 40 years ago, or a little over 40 years ago, where it was listed as a two-family with 4 bedrooms on it. And we can submit that as part of the record or as a condition of approval as well. That would satisfy the board as the legality or the use of a two-family.
Yeah, it's helpful. We're not there yet. but
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go to the tax assessor and
I looked it up online. We'll print it out and get it to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, Bill, how do we handle this? Do they ask for to continue this application until,
Continue
you
without
know-
further notice and present proofs in regard to the historic use of the property and go back into the construction records, hopefully see when this was built,
yeah,
as much as you can. And,
I guess I'm not sure what is the cut? I guess I'll speak to the zoning officer tomorrow, but I mean, if this was legal for 40 years or it's been in the,
1959,
it doesn't,
at 1959?
we don't know that it's
That's what I was
legal.
trying to-
You know what I'm saying? We don't know that
Yeah.
it was, that is a legal two-family house at this point. You have to show us
Okay,
something
I'm sorry. So 1959 was the year? of the zoning ordinance?
1959.
Okay, I guess that was my
prior to
question.
that, or
Yeah.
unless someone came in that time and got an approval
Right.
to make it a two-family house, there's prior resolutions or something, some type of.
Yep, not a problem. Appreciate it.
So, okay, so you're asking to continue this application?
public, just in case the public's
Okay.
here. and-
All right, does anybody from the public wish to comment on this application? Okay, seeing nobody from the public, we'll close it to the public and bring it back to. So you want to continue the application to, do you have a date? When's the next?
The next one, the next one that's not full is the September 17th.
September 17th is the first available date we have.
Yeah, that's the
Right,
next
that's what
one.
it is. Okay.
Okay.
So, all
That'll be
right, with no
without further
notice, that's all, just get your proofs and show up. Okay,
All right, thank you.
all right, thank you.
Bill, I'm sorry, did you mark that one, Bill? You got it, B1, did you mark that?
I did.
one? Okay, perfect, thank you.
I think this time, we got a planner here, so I don't know if he should be up here.
You said it.
This is the borough planner, Joe Boots, so I don't know. Okay, what's the next one?
Again.
All right, a new application is Guillermo Rojas, 40 West River Sticks Road.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, Chris Colabella on behalf of the applicant. Project made this evening, Jeff Cariega, our engineer, and Mr. Rojas is here. All right. The application is to essentially reconstruct walls on the property, remove and reconstruct, I should say, retaining walls, as well as the installation of impervious pavers within the rear yard of the property.
What I'd like to do, everybody has the plans, I'd like to have Mr. Carriega sworn in and qualified and have him go through the project. I have Mr. Rojas right here.
This for the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
And your full name?
Jeffrey Carriaga, Careaga, Carriaga Engineering Inc. in Bud Lake, New Jersey.
And you're currently licensed as a New Jersey engineer.
That's correct.
And you've spoken, you've handled applications before this board on many occasions.
Yes, sir. Accept qualifications, I would,
Absolutely.
if you would, Mr. Carriaga, if you could just approach the plan over there and we can mark that as A1.
This is what the board has received.
Yes, this is sheet 2 of the application, no modification.
Mr. Carriaga, if you would, please just describe the lot for the board and the proposed project.
And side of the sheet, it shows the existing conditions of the property. Existing property is 25 feet wide by 158 feet deep. There is an existing deck in the back of the property and a variety of retaining walls and walkway that go down to the lakefront. There is a concrete patio existing down at the lakefront, and there is a window seawall in there. So it's all of the work all in accordance with the New Jersey DEP permit criteria. Seawall makes it allowable to be stored with it. There's really nothing on this property that is pre-existing. All previously disturbed, all subject to permit. So what we're doing is basically trying to minimize the height of the walls going down to 4 feet or less. It's not possible right at the top because the existing walls that actually cross onto the neighbor's property we're replacing this wall. But before I get into this, one of the key parts of this project is how do you access? There's really no access to be able to get to get equipment down onto the site. Within 25 feet, you've got a neighboring house, a foot and a half off their property line. You've got another neighboring house, a couple feet off the property line. Neighboring retaining walls right along the site. There's encroachments from the neighbor. There's encroachments over here. So really, the bottom line is this neighbor is allowing the construction to proceed by coming through his lot, and all the equipment is going to come through here. We do have a letter that we received from an email actually from the neighbor.
Yeah, just for the record, his name is Dan Rudnitsky, and he did send an email. It's addressed to the borough. Mr. Rojas received it today, forwarded it on to me. I could share it with you. It just confirms that he's willing to grant access to his neighbor for purpose of getting materials and equipment to complete the project. So if you want a copy of this for the record, we'd be glad to share it with you.
I think that's between you and him.
Yeah, well, that's,
Whatever we do, it's gonna be
if,
conditional on
of course,
legal access.
of course.
So Jeff, none of these proposed walls are over 4 feet? I mean, I don't
they're
really,
all just around 4 feet. I went through it and I didn't see anything.
I didn't see any really that were over.
Just up at the top over here, it's just slightly over 4 feet.
Okay.
And Mr. Carrier, did you have an opportunity to review the technical review letter prepared by Mr. Rushkey? I just want to go through a couple of the general comments, and the first was, and I think you addressed this, it says due to the proximity of Lake Opacan, the applicant should obtain an applicability determination. I think you just addressed that a couple of minutes ago. From New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection.
I would prefer frankly that, given the intensity of this, just submit it to the DEP. You don't want to find out, it doesn't cost anything to submit it. So.
Yeah, but it takes time.
A month. So, if you're confident that it meets it, then you have no concern.
So with regard to number 2, it talks about disturbances of steep and critical slopes of more than 2,500 square feet are prohibited. The proposed slope / soil disturbance should be verified that they do not exceed the threshold.
I would say that they probably do exceed the threshold.
Okay.
Again, this is all previously disturbed, steep slopes. If you take the average, existing grade from the top to the bottom and divide by the distance, the average slope in the property is 50%. So it's the whole property is steep slopes. There's more on it. It's not. It's
It
all
should be
previously
just listed as a variance. That's all.
And we addressed this number 3, access for equipment and materials. Mr. Rojas, of course, received the email today from his neighbor confirming that there would be access. With regard to the site plan on number 4, it talks about trees to be removed. Are there any trees on the property? No. Okay. So that's a non-issue. So should the board view this application favorably, a condition of approval should be submission of retaining wall calculations prepared by yourself for retaining walls greater than 4 feet high.
That's no problem.
Not an issue, okay. And number 6, construction details should be provided for proposed pervious paver patio. Construction and all required testing shall comply with chapters 9, 12. Is that gonna be an issue of the stormwater best management practices manual?
No, not at all, but we do have a, detail. Plan.
So the existing concrete pad down at the lake, you're gonna remove? Is that
Correct, and replace it with impervious pad. No change in elevation.
John, did you have any comment on that, on the pervious pavers?
I'm still missing the detail. But
Okay.
You're yelling at me, telling me it's there, but I don't see it. Oh, I don't have that version. Yeah, just give me that version. I don't have that.
it's the boilerplate up in the left?
The only other comment I have, Jeff, is that are you gonna provide construction layout for this? Because it's just 1
Yes.
foot off the property line.
Yes.
and Just, we don't wanna have an as-built where they have a problem. Yes.
I mean, it's a pretty ambitious undertaking.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I'm sure it'll look nice.
You got some pretty good pricing from Roberts. So I think Roberts.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's a big project. Next, the retaining walls, construction details, I guess that, okay, no problem. And then lastly, all soil erosion sediment control measures should be clearly depicted on the site plan. Do we have an indication of the, silt fences, et cetera, on the plan? And if not, can they be added? Okay. All right. And with regard to the project, are there any other issues that, from an engineering standpoint, with regard to the walls of the property that we would need to bring to the board's attention, or is everything covered between the technical review letter and your plan?
Without the neighbor's consent, this would be extremely access.
Wheelbarrow.
This was the key to the whole project.
With that, I would just open it up to any additional questions that you have of Mr. Carriega.
Just to summarize, essentially what the applicant's seeking to do is replace existing walls that are in a deteriorated condition, remove a slight encroachment of the wall into the property to the right as you're looking at your plan.
That's right.
And with the previous pavers, they would go over an existing area of impervious coverage. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Other questions?
On that impervious coverage, though, the calculations that you have, it looks like you're actually going down from 48.4 to 45.7%.
That's because we're replacing a concrete patio on impervious pavers, which don't count towards that.
I don't have any further questions.
All right, well, with that, we would submit then.
Okay. All right, I'll open this application to the public. Does anybody from the public wish to comment on this application? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
I'll make a motion to accept the application.
Okay, with the couple,
Yeah.
you know, understanding that John's letter will be supplied with any
I'll second.
self-fence, all that stuff, so. Okay, motion is second.
Mr. Bongiovanni. Mr. Shirillo.
Yes.
Mr. Delariva.
Yes.
Ms. Croft.
Yes.
Mr. Kusavich.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Mezzalewski.
Yes.
Mayor Galati.
Yes.
Chairman Ray.
Yes.
Very good, thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, the next application is Greg and Anissa Harrison, 25 Papoose Trail. Papoose.
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you need water?
I'm fine, thank you. I brought a bottle of water.
You look taller.
It's been a while, although I haven't been told that. We have an application essentially to remove an old dock and build a boathouse, build a dock around the boathouse. And there's some issues with regard to the particular site and with regard to the, in particular, the area in the water that I'm gonna have Mr. Harrison testify to. Because when you look at the dock, the question's gonna be about the size of the dock and why it's placed where it's placed. And it has a lot to do with there being massive boulders in the lake. So if we could, I'd like to have Mr. Harrison sworn in first. I'd like to have him testify to that particular issue.
Gregory Harrison. Yes.
So, Mr. Harrison, could you tell the board when it was that you purchased the property?
It was June of 2022.
And when who was there with you?
I lived there with my wife.
Okay. And is this your primary residence?
It is.
It is, okay. And do you intend to sell the residence?
No.
Rent the residence?
Definitely not.
Okay, so you're gonna live there full time?
We are.
Year round?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you're asking the board to approve the construction of a boathouse and dock, a U-shaped dock. And there are some particular site issues that we talked about that I thought the board should be aware of with respect to this issue of the coverage, the water coverage, and the placement of the dock. Could you tell the board the condition of the surface of the ground underneath the water right off the bulkhead?
Yeah, so there are a number of large boulders throughout the whole area. I've hit them with the boat. They're only a couple feet below the water in some cases, depending on the depth of the lake. I've definitely found them with my toes a number of times, and they were clearly evident when the lake was drawn down last year. So they're primarily on the south side of where the existing dock is, and there are several of them there. So
how far out do they go from the bulkhead?
They go, all the way to the end of the current dock.
Okay.
In places.
How long is your current dock?
It's 30 feet, I believe.
All right, so for 30 feet going out, there's rocks there. And does it prevent you from actually pulling your boat in on that side of the dock?
We can pull the boat in. That's where the boat is currently, but it's tricky to get it in and out without hitting the boat or without hitting the boulders. It's happened more than once.
Is it okay? Is it driven by the lake height in terms of if the lake is down?
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah. Sometimes you can just get over them, and sometimes not.
What about swimming in that area right there?
I would not do it. I've floated in that direction, smashed my toes a couple times, and never went back.
Okay. Now, the proposal you're making is to build this dock, of course, and a boathouse. And in terms of pulling the boat in and out, have you positioned the structure where the boathouse is going to be and the docks so that you're not going to be running into those rocks.
Exactly, yeah, so according to our proposal, where the boat slip would be is on the other side of where the boat currently is. And there, aren't the big boulders there. We can't do that now because the dock is off the pilings and actually tilted, so it's, that side of the dock is too high to even attempt it now, but we've seen, their boulders, aren't as prevalent on that side of the dock.
And with respect to your neighbors, let's talk about from the lake facing your house, the neighbor to the left, does the neighbor to the left have a dock?
He does, yeah, they have a boathouse and a dock.
Okay, and the neighbor to the right, do they have a dock?
They have a dock.
Okay, and Mr. Carrier will get into the distances. Have you discussed any of this with your neighbors with respect to?
We can't have that.
I'm not gonna ask him what he said, Bill, I'm just asking if we had discussion. Okay. Okay, any objection from anybody? What?
You'll be biased.
I'm not asking what he said.
Quite the
I'm not asking what he said.
Next question. Go ahead.
Next question, Counselor, objection. Mr. Haggerty's objecting. Okay. With that, does the board have any questions of Mr. Harris?
He's far enough off he doesn't get near anybody, he's far enough off the side yards where I don't see it, it's not, there's no side yard issues here. I mean, it's pretty much right smack in the middle of the property.
I spoke to the neighbors, they seem like they're fine, so.
Which neighbors, Steve?
What did they say?
The good neighbors?
If the neighbors were concerned, they might be getting.
Okay, Don, do you have any concerns on this?
No, the only comment I had was, regarding justifying the length of the dock, the width of the dock, and he kind of gave testimony of why he's proposing.
And the way his property comes in, it's not like he's the furthest one out and he's going out.
Yeah.
He's the furthest one in and he's just trying to,
Unique piece of property.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
with that, I'd like to have Mr. Carrier just describe the project for us and describe the.
Sworn in here. Raise your right hand.
I do.
Your first current license as an engineer in New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
And clearly you testify before.
Mr. Carrier, could you please just, we'll mark this as A1 applicant 1. This is the plan that was submitted to the municipality, the board for tonight's meeting.
So that's sheet.
This one is sheet number 2 of 3 also.
Could you just tell the board what, at this point, variances we need and what the project consists of, essentially from an engineering standpoint?
So we are in front of the board because we need variances for the boathouses. Variances the proposed variances are all land that is in the bank of the lake pond, one stream, major drainage district, except docks, piers, boathouses, and marinas in accordance with 242.3. There are stairs to dock 0, existing and 0 proposed. Proposed variance per code 242-30C4, no combination of docks and boathouse shall occupy more than 15% of the water lot area within the pier head line. 45% existing, 21.1 proposed. Third variance is per 242-30C10. Irregularly shaped private piers and docks in the shape of a U, T, or inverted L are permitted, provided all such irregularly shaped docks shall not exceed 50 feet further than the total width of any such dock as measured horizontally along the shoreline, not to exceed 25 feet in the case of the U-shaped dock. The maximum distance between the 2 vertical legs of the U shall be 12 feet. It's 40 feet existing and 114.14 proposed.
How do you come up with that number, 114? I don't know.
I'm gonna ask John.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, I have an underline. I don't know where the 114.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah, it might just be a typo.
Yeah, I think it's a
No,
typo.
I'm the one that generally starts that snowball. And, it's a difficult ordinance. It's intended to include the horizontal and the vertical aspects of the different legs. So,
Okay,
you know, I just add them up and
all right, now we know where it came from.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's confusing because it looks like the length of the dock is 114 feet. I mean,
It's halfway across.
It's halfway across the code.
You're adding up the legs is what you're doing.
Okay,
You also, you mentioned 45% of existing coverage, which is 4.5%, 4.5. I never said 45. Yeah, you said 45, which is 21 is proposed.
well, the maximum water
Well, I was
area
talking
coverage is
15.
15 is allowable. There's 4.5 now, and you're bumping it up to 21, so it's not a major, it's really a small increase.
Right.
So,
Right, so with that, if there are any questions of Mr. Carriega, I'd open the floor for those questions. So,
I don't have any questions.
no?
Nope.
Okay, I do have a planner here, to be safe, of course, I've, Ms. Kopsko. And if the board feels at this point it's not necessary, and I know that we can't prejudge it, but it seems like I have a receptive audience here today, and if that is the case, we could forego her testimony. There was a report that was submitted, and I'm sure that the board, you guys read everything, I'm sure you read her report.
I mean, I don't, I mean, if,
Well, yeah.
I don't see a need for a planning, I mean, we can,
We do have.
Can I make my testimony, one additional testimony? Due to site-specific restrictions of boulders being in the water, strict conformance to the ordinance is not possible in this case.
okay,
And that's, she would testify to that.
And I just wanted to point out, I did look at the deed records, because we do have two lots here, and there is a deed of merger that was filed in the Sussex County Clerk's Office, recorded on October 4th, 2023, so that the two properties, block 50304 and block 50305, lot 5, cannot be separately mortgaged or sold, so they are tied together.
Yeah.
We would have asked for that if it hadn't been done.
I mean, it is a unique piece of property, I mean, Squat Trail runs through the, you know, it's never Squat Trail's never gonna go through there, so it is what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't see necessary to have the planner testimony unless somebody else does.
Are you paying her anyway, or?
Well, then it just runs up
we're
his
fine.
bill,
We-
'cause he's gotta stand there all day.
No,
Yeah.
we're fine. No,
Let me just
we-
write the check now.
We know you have the report, and we wanted to be safe and certainly wanted to create a record. Obviously, anytime we're asking for a boathouse, the Lake Packard Commission sometimes shows up
Yeah.
and others show up and there's objectors, and so we want to be prepared. So with that, though, we would submit,
Yeah, we do have the report of the Lake Placid Commission.
and that can be part of the record. Yeah.
Okay. All right, at this time, I want to open this application to the public. Does anybody from the public wish to comment on this application? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the application.
Ron Giovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Sherley,
Yes.
Mr. Dellarino,
Yes.
Ms. Crock,
Yes.
Mr. Kusevich,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Mezzalowski,
Yes.
Mayor Galati?
Yes.
Chairman Wright.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good luck.
I just have one request, that they be permitted to get permits prior to resolution. I know we have to sign a waiver, and they're willing to do that because of where we are in the summer months. We'd like to get the project started as soon as possible, if the board would.
So are you asking for a waiver of memorialization? Chris?
Yes, I am.
Can I have a motion to waive the memorialization? Chris?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Ron Giovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Sherley,
Yes.
Mr. Dellarino,
Yes.
Ms. Crock,
Yes.
Mr. Kusevich,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Mezzalowski,
Yes.
Mayor Galati,
Yes.
Chairman Wright.
Yes, all right, well, we're good to go.
Great, thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your
Good
time.
Let's clear it out a little bit.
Looks like a ball.
Okay, the next application this evening is Tiberio and Marie Stupar, 407 Lakeside Boulevard.
Chairman, can I speak? For a few minutes? I did go over that.
Okay, you wanna wait till they get up here, Bill, or you wanna, I don't know.
Sure.
What's up, Bill?
Yes, hi. I did try to call you and I called twice.
No, we lost power.
I listened to your music.
Somebody ran into a transformer up in Randolph, so we had no power for about 3 or 4 hours. So what's up, Bill?
Yeah, this property received denial. The board seeking use of what was characterized as a boathouse for a guest room, kitchen, and bathroom. And that was, application was denied on July 6, 2023, memorialized September 5th, 2023. Notice of hearing presented tonight requested a use variance, but the explanation that is submitted with the application is a little different. It says the applicant is not seeking to construct a kitchen or bathroom facility, but I think that they're already. It says the statement says the applicant is seeking use variance to utilize the boathouse for the purposes to which they purchased the same, which would permit them to utilize the space to entertain family and friends. So just bear with me, if you would, for a second. My construction is they're not seeking use variance to construct a kitchen or bathroom, and if those facilities are in the building now, they should be removed. The structure really has lost its status as a boathouse, which the ordinance defines as any enclosed structure over the water used for the primary purpose of storing and mooring boats and boating equipment. Boathouses shall be permitted to incorporate a flat roof to accommodate the construction of a deck or patio, subject to the restrictions set forth in ordinance 24-30. That's verbatim the definition. The prior application again was a denial, and the property, the building is not to be used for separate habitation. The kitchen and bathroom presence were denied. The application tonight, as I would understand it, and Mr. Heyman will confirm this, sure, is not to seek use variance approval, but seek bulk variance approval to allow the building to stay in the position that it is now. Apparently, construction was done by a predecessor, according to the prior application. If this is strictly treated as an accessory structure and the applicant wants to use it for family entertainment, put a ping pong table in there, whatever, put a TV in there, that's no different than an accessory garage as I see it. Nobody polices a garage to make sure that you put 2 cars in the garage, and if you want to have a TV in there for the family, you know, that, I think that's fair game. What you can't have is separate habitation. If the applicant is seeking to keep the bathroom in there, plumbing in there, kitchen in there, then it is a use variance. And we will not hear that because that was already before the board. The board denied that. So there's no appeal of that denial. So that presentation should not be before the board tonight. The way I see it, this should not be a use variance application because we've gone that route already. It should strictly be an application for bulk variance approval. And if the applicant proposes to use that accessory building to put a couch in and chairs and watch TV with family members, no different than a garage. So that's my construction. So if any member of the public is here, please be advised that my inclination is we're not going to hear any testimony in regard to use variance issues. It is strictly the bulk variance setbacks as far as I can tell. But Mr. Heyman, correct me if I'm wrong.
And so let me put my appearance on the record. Ronald is Heyman from the firm of Heyman and Fletcher, and Mr. Haggerty is 100% correct in all that he stated. The application is not before you for any construction or use of a bathroom or a kitchen, and I'm prepared to provide testimony and proof that there is no bathroom and kitchen in the premises. So I wasn't here a year ago. This is I'm back now, so maybe if I was here a year ago, it would have been a whole different story. But and this came to light. Mr. Donegan went. We've been to municipal court in Andover, and the culmination result was that we would bring in a new application. And I have proofs going back to when they bought the property in 2005, proofs back to 1988 when permits were issued to rebuild and restore a boathouse at this site. So I am prepared to present that. Bill was right, there's no use variance, it is a series of bulk variances.
Okay.
All right,
go
Chairman,
ahead.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for you.
Okay. So, Mr. Turo, why don't you come up here? Mr.
That was
Stubar,
important because
He-
Mayor Bellotti can participate.
she can participate now, so let me have this straight.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I swear.
And your full name, sir.
Tiberius Stupar, Stupar. Yeah, 407 Lakeside Boulevard, back on New Jersey.
Okay, Mr. Stubar, you and your wife purchased this property back in
Well,
let me ask the question, and then you can go ahead with an answer. Back in 2005, I know maybe your father.
yeah, my
was-
father purchased the property in
Right,
2005,
Right,
yes.
but you and your wife have resided there since then, am I correct?
Not since then.
When did you
Yeah.
move in?
I believe in 2006.
Okay,
we moved in,
okay.
yeah, yes.
All right, and when the property was purchased, there was a listing agreement that you relied upon or
Oh,
somebody.
yes, when I purchased it from we purchased the property from Chris Edwards.
Chris Edwards was your realtor, correct?
Yes, correct.
And I'm-
2005.
And I'm gonna show you what I marked as A1, and is this a copy of the listing agreement?
Yes, correct. That's
Okay.
a copy.
So Bill, how do you want me to throw these around? Start somewhere?
Yeah. let's-
So this is a listing agreement from
What-
two
what is it-
thousand and five.
What is it you're trying to establish with the listing agreement?
Well, I want to show what was there. I'm gonna have him testify that what was there was a boathouse. And the same boathouse that's there today.
Yes, it's the same.
So there's two dates on this. The reason there's two dates is because I was preparing this for the trial, and then the trial got kibbutz. So I put a second date on there. So I marked that as A1.
I marked it A, yeah, I put A1.
Yeah, I have another one if you want me to have it passed
And it's
around.
really for the photo, the value is the photo showing the improvement.
Correct. I have a second one if you need it, but that's up to you, okay?
And just a question, did the boathouse have a boat in it? Or a boat could be in it?
I don't know.
No, that's never had a boat in.
Never had a boat.
Could a boat get in?
Not now,
Not gonna get
no.
in.
In 2005, could a boat
No.
get in?
No, when we.
So
purchased it-
is a boathouse if a boat can't get in it?
No.
I mean, I'm.
I think, I don't know if I'm talking out of.
Accessory
I mean, there are photographs of, the last application, I don't know if we can, but that clearly shows that it was a boathouse, that a boat went in. So at some point between, I think 1978, those photos were, and 1987 or whatever,
Yeah.
that was.
But
When he
2005,
even put it, it was
A constructed
it was already
accessory
posted.
use. That's what we're
Okay.
gonna show you.
Yes,
but in 2005, the boathouse could not have a boat in it.
Correct.
No.
It was already constructed use.
Okay.
correct. That's the way we purchased it in 2005.
Did Mr. Stuper make any changes to the structures after he purchased it, or after his father purchased it?
If you give me a few minutes, I'll get to that, Bill. Want to answer that yet, or do you want to wait a couple seconds? Okay, so let me show you what's been marked as A2, and this is a photo that was taken back when the property was
Yes.
listed and you purchased. And what does that show? What does that photo show? What does that
So
photo?
the dock.
Right.
And the house, not a boathouse, but a house, and the main house,
And the main house is
the
that.
main ranch.
This is what
Yes,
A2 shows, okay.
Yes, correct.
This is a photo from back when you purchased it in
Yes.
2005.
Yes.
And
that's
and
my
this
purchase.
photograph was taken,
This part of the listing, you can see on top, it says ML.
Yes.
So it was with the listing agreement
The
Mr. Edwards
correct.
showed you when
Yeah,
you were
Chris Edwards,
purchasing the
yes, when I
property.
purchased it, yes.
Could we see those photos too?
I have extras, so.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna pass
Make
them.
them a copy.
I have some
oh,
extras.
one,
Maybe. Some of them are even color, believe it or not. Oh,
you
these-
gotta give it a few minutes.
I have one in color, I have one in black and white. I can pass them down both ends.
You wanna make a couple?
Do you want me to make copies?
Anybody want copies of that?
Can you
I
make
have-
copies? Everybody okay?
Yeah, so I have multiple copies just to expedite the process.
So this is half of the boat.
Right, that's one view. I'm coming a little farther. So let me show you.
It's like a fifth of that boathouse?
Correct, just a side view
No, I
of
was
it.
gonna make a copy. I was gonna go make copies.
All right.
I was trying to listen as he was talking.
Yeah.
There's
I
no-
got
Are you gonna time out? I got
No,
more,
it's okay. Maria, I got it.
I got lots more pictures. You're gonna keep.
Close like a house, so it's-
Hope you're not gonna leave every time there's a picture.
They have a lot more.
Yeah,
the mayor has to stay here.
Serious.
Give it a minute, Lou.
It gets dark early.
Bill, what are you doing? A3 is a photo. I'll just tell you if they listed ahead of time.
Any others you want?
I got, man, I got plenty of copies. I got enough to send around.
Boathouse Cabana.
Yeah, they can call it.
We don't have that.
Doesn't
I got
matter.
more if you want.
Doesn't matter. You can go-
Once this is done.
This picture. Yeah. I remember. We'll make this application.
go wherever they want.
That was.
That's the boathouse.
That has been copies of anything.
No, I mean, I have multiple copies. It was like, say, oh, there's no way to. I don't see them again. It says people down there, so I can only see them here, so.
Give it back. Better idea.
I want to hear what I get a picture of it. Well, copy every time I put a picture of it, we'll be able to midnight.
That's you could give me anything that you're gonna circulate, and I'll make, 10 copies of each, and that way. Yeah.
All right, one and a couple, okay. You don't use permits and stuff, do you?
Whatever you want, whatever you want to.
All right, I'll give you the whole batch.
Hey, Bill, maybe we'll take it just a
Yeah, let's do
5-minute
that.
recess.
Probably a
just to
10-minute
get-
break. Fine,
to get all this
go
squared away.
ahead. Thanks. Okay, give that picture too. Bill, give that Bill. Yeah, that'll make 10 of those too, okay.
I know you're maybe on the way to bed.
There's more.
Well, we got more.
13. Yeah.
They look like.
Morning.
Took a 5-minute break.
I know. Oh, no, because the other one came out very dark, so then I had to go do the color.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Make sure that my.
Judy, I'm not that skinny.
Oh, you're skinny enough.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't normally run either, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so that's.
Too old to run.
Oh, look. Oh, no, but you're gonna-
So what the rest is it
Yeah.
taking a long time?
Do you get in trouble with
But they took the docking and they put it in front, so it's basically a house.
Thank you. But it was, this was the black and white one. so I kind
When
of-
was the boat?
Because it was on
Thank you for the job. When you can't put a boat
Must
in
be
it.
true.
Right.
Must be true.
I was trying to wait till you before.
I just wanted to make sure that there's no filling, dumping, or anything.
Yeah, so-
I think it
Marie,
makes
how
our
many did you make?
See what happens.
10.
I think it makes our municipal.
Oh, yeah, this one, yeah, it's like a little pocket, you know, and
But you
everything.
get access from law.
And you know,
Okay.
you always need double vision.
Maybe someone might want to pick up the whole piece of property versus.
Well, it depends upon your.
But Ron's,
front
his
lake
property
front.
is
I think it
wet,
depends
you know,
on
you
like
go there, you see the
front.
It's real straight.
But it does make it.
It does. It
Oh,
does
I was gonna
make it
ask
bigger.
Ron.
Actually, it's a beautiful, that area, when you're in the outskirts, it really is beautiful, as it goes into that woods. It's nice.
It would have been nice if they could have developed something.
Yeah, it would have, but unfortunately.
That's
So do
good.
you need a memo or you need
If
something?
you could, because I have to present it to council.
Okay.
For them to accept
Yep,
it.
yep, sounds good.
So,
Yep.
yeah, so we can make it more palatable for us. Which is good, and,
Well, they're cleansing out the kitchen and the bathroom.
oh, the,
Have a look at the grant.
I looked at the grant, see, now the way I read it, I think we could kind of move at least the transportation part into it where we might be able to get if we can establish that we're going to get a new bus type of a thing established on the route or something other than where we have.
Yeah,
That might be beneficial.
Oh, yeah, I agree, that would fall. Is that what you want to try?
Real estate listing.
I think so,
Was it
because
like
we
a
can
legal
always,
Because
we can
when I bought our
utilize
house, it was a ranch, and they
other drivers
converted the
that we
garage
have
to a
to
room.
do other
And
things.
they
I
said
don't
it
know
was
how
a
we
third
schedule
bedroom,
it.
but it wasn't a third bedroom, it was 2 bedrooms with a filled-in
Oh,
garage.
yeah. But I think, I mean, the way I read it, I thought that we could do that, but it also talked about, having the ability to.
Right.
Not have them all be in one.
Yeah, so it's not a legal document, it's an advertisement.
I was trying to get away from that, and I couldn't really think of anything else. Because sometimes it just pops, some things just pop up, you know, so it's just about what you create.
That's like you're still.
There's quite a bit of money there, and they're gonna
And you're supposed to
divvy it up. With $70,000.
And that was covered, I think.
Not even.
For them, maybe it's going to be an opportunity for them to drive to.
Gotta go.
But that's their
I know my brother does real estate in Florida. Buys properties, so when a storm window gets reported with the property, he always says, show me the permits that were told to put them in, and nobody does, because if you can't show me the permits, we don't know if they got proper screws, because, you know, in addition to storm windows, they gotta be installed and inspected a certain way. And it's great you have the storm windows, but they're gonna blow out because they weren't installed correctly.
Make 10 copies for everybody.
No, it's canceled.
Okay.
Wait, Steve, can you just leave the colored one?
Okay.
I don't know why you didn't.
I can't wait. Get old. Oh, no, that's okay. Halloween.
Isn't that like a boarding?
It's really how, it really comes down to how it's structured. What exactly.
I have a resident that's complaining about a neighbor that has
Turnover rooms, then yeah, that's probably not permitted. But that sounds like a boarding house. You know, that definitely- It would be one thing that, yeah, renting a room, sharing it with, yeah, but turning around now.
John, I just need you to actually to get to you.
Yeah. We'll just wait for you, Amy.
No, that's two. That's
That's
two. 3 is the one with the picture right here.
You got that?
Yeah.
I hope it's not a fire.
Is that what you got?
have sent that a long time ago.
What is Dildos?
I don't know. But he said he.
Same, that's two.
I don't know. What he said.
You know, they were full when we started the meeting.
Look at this mess.
That's way
Yeah, 'cause Judy is at the end of the.
I will get rid of them, give them to me.
The 90 days prior, yeah, that was for my trial. And Cory and I were getting wrapped up to do.
Okay, Bill, now we ready to go, Bill, here?
I don't have everything, but I
Good thing about bringing it.
she took them all.
All right,
Took
okay.
everything.
I got it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Thank you.
Did you take this and make copies of it? The originals?
Yeah, I took
I don't know where his copy went. Huh? You need a copy? You need a copy of the real estate list? Do you have that?
No, I have that.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Do we need Bill Donegan too? I guess we need to go
Yeah,
back
Bill
to the
stole
two.
everything I had, so,
What do you, yes, oh, here.
yeah,
I have these too.
no, I don't want to, I have stuff here, but
Is that
yeah.
what he's looking for?
Yeah.
And Bill has the other two. He's doing the other two copies.
All right, so you want me to move on? I can
Oh,
start.
hold
I
on, we
think.
gotta just wait for Mr. Haggerty and Mr. Donovan.
I asked Bill, I told him, come on in, whatever you have. it's fine."
Oh, yeah, we gotta just announce that Steve left. Look, we proceed without Bill Donovan, or?
I can start at least with, yeah.
Yep, here he is. All right.
All right, here he comes. Let me see what he's got.
All right, I just want the record to know that board member Steve Krusovic had to leave, so we're down one. Okay.
You, it started, I think you were gonna offer A3.
I am gonna offer A3, yes.
A3 is a picture,
Yep.
with a listing agreement, I think.
Correct.
Right?
Yep, so-
And that shows the internal condition of the building at the time of the listing back in
05.
05.
All right, so you're not gonna get any testimony of that, because you just did. That was exactly what it is, so, just see what else Bill has. What did you give me, Bill? Everything?
Problem is there's, you know, there's like 5 pages, but I made 13, so. by the time
Okay, hold on.
collated
That's
it all-
fine. Okay, that's good, Bill. So I don't, no, I think I'm good. So I'm gonna show you D4. I only have one, so I guess you're gonna hand them out already. And D4 is a copy.
A4.
I'm sorry, yeah, A4, yeah. It was once D4, it went to A4. And again, is this the property as it looked like when
Yes,
when
yes,
the MLS listing was going on?
The cabinet, there's a fridge, there's no kitchen or nothing.
And so what does this show? So the board,
The cabinet and a refrigerator, small refrigerator. that's all.
is that still there today?
Yes, it's still there today.
And
yes.
there was a concern that you had a kitchen.
No,
in-
there's no kitchen there.
All right, and I'm gonna ask you now, why not? Is there a bathroom here?
No, there's no.
Okay, so this is A4, Bill. I think this has been passed around. So that's a photo of what's there today.
I know Steve left, he came to our house and checked everything. Fortunately, he had to leave, but I showed him everything today, he came by,
Okay,
came to the courthouse and I.
okay. So, we'll find A5. Somewhere I had a survey. Let's see, here we go. Okay, so I have a survey this morning. Again, this survey is dated, what's the date of this survey?
2005.
Okay, and this is the survey when you purchased the property?
Yes, correct.
But again, I think you have that, so that's my A5, and it shows the boat, the
The
building.
building, the dock, the boathouse, the main one-story house.
Okay.
right there.
And that was there when you and your wife went through the property.
When me and my dad went. for the
Yeah,
property,
but
yes.
then you were there after, correct?
Yes.
All right.
That was the one there.
I'm gonna show you what I've marked, A6. This is something you gathered for me from the town, correct? This is an application. The applicant was a gentleman named Oliva, I believe, Anthony Oliva. Can you see that name right there?
Yes, and the name of the one was Salvador John.
That was the name of the owner, okay, and that must have been the builder, I guess, who was
I
gonna,
guess he was.
and what's the date on this?
April 18, 1988.
Okay, and on the bottom, what does it say on the bottom? It says-
Repair and rebuild existing boathouse, no changes in size whatsoever.
All right, and this
Constructions to be done as existing
dimensions,
dimensions will remain the same.
okay, and so this is 1988, and
Yes.
there's some attachments to it, right?
Yes,
There's
correct.
a floor plan,
Floor plan, yes.
a dock plan,
And
addition
foundation
plan.
yes.
All right, and so that was submitted in 1988.
Yes.
We're submitting that as A6. A7, we've got 4, I think. Okay, A7, that you have, is a what? What's the title?
Construction permit,
And for what? What's it?
building,
Okay, and what does it say over in the description of work?
repair and replace boathouse,
And what's the date of that? Can you see the date up here?
7/8. Was it
1988? What's the date it was,
2/28/19?
what's the date it was issued?
2/22/1988.
Okay, and that's the permit that was issued by the town,
By the
correct?
town, yes, correct, yes.
All right, and that's 7. Number 8 is all right, subcode. Here we go. We marked this as A8. We dated it today. It's called building what?
Building subcode technical section.
Okay, and can you see the date? It's kind of browned out, but you can see it,
Well,
I
it says
think.
April 18, 1988.
All right, again, what under the description of work, what were they doing?
Replace all boathouse and dock with the same dimension, repair complete work, patchwork, no changes at all to existing, repair as and replace.
Okay. Now, A9 is a certificate of approval, am I correct?
Yeah.
It says, and if you look at it, what's the date of that? I think it's 1991.
1991, 150, 1991.
Okay, and it says here, it's checked off, certificate of approval.
Certification of approval.
And I don't know who signed that, because I can't read that kind of writing, but it looks like Paul something or other.
Paul something, yeah.
Okay, and that happened back in 1991.
Bill, shouldn't we all have a copy of this, what you're,
I thought you did.
I don't have any of that.
You don't,
Right here,
okay.
Bill, you don't have.
That should have been included in the packet.
Hold on, I have copies, okay, okay, hold on,
Yeah, we don't-
all right, hold on.
I thought you.
No, let me,
Why don't we circulate it?
yeah, let me do that, I didn't know that, Mr. Chairman, I didn't know you, I thought you made copies and you already had them, so. All right, so look, you have them, Bill?
Do you have any more?
I got
Do
some.
you have any more exhibits off after this?
Yeah, let me do one more now, then I'll pass this all around, okay?
That way we can go line by line, whatever you're.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can
Yeah.
follow along.
No, that's fine.
What are you trying to tell though in terms of?
What I'm trying to show you, that's a good point. What I'm trying to show you is that in 2005, when they purchased this property, what's there now is what was there then. When you see these photos, it's an accessory building. It's got some cabinets, it's got no kitchen other than a refrigerator, no bathroom, and it's been the same ever since.
None of those items were constructed at any point in time.
Well, they were constructed sometime between 1988 and I'm gonna say 1991.
Any of what you just described as the bathroom, the toilet, showers, the wet bar, we'll call it, kitchen sink. No plumbing.
No, none of that.
There's no plumbing.
There's nothing.
So just to summarize this, just to make sure that we all understand it, right? Originally, I would imagine it was a boathouse. At some point, without getting permits, somebody converted it from a boathouse to a play area.
That'd be my-
A sitting area.
That'd be my
They
logical
never
assumption.
got permits for doing that. Some subsequent to that, somebody made an application to put a kitchen and a bathroom in it, which was denied.
Correct.
Right, and now you're just trying to correct the fact that permits were never taken out when they converted it from a traditional boathouse to an accessory structure.
That's right.
Is that an appropriate summary?
That is. I'm
What we're
trying to restore what it was when they bought it, so they get approval for what was there, which I think they messed up last time when they came here seeking, to expand that use. I want to go back to the use that was always there, which is no kitchen, no bath, and just an area where you can entertain guests and family.
But
just
the
on
only thing
that-
is,
oh.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, the last time they were here, the last application, we had photographs.
That's always a mess.
That it was a boathouse, clearly a boathouse, and I don't know if I'm correct, 78, 79, there was actually a boat in the boathouse. Now, I don't know how that got from there to where it is now.
But I think that's the point. Somebody
Yeah.
went and converted
Yes,
it.
yeah, without the
without
proper,
permits.
yes.
Yeah, let me just.
But on the documents that you outlined just before.
Yeah.
Each one, it seemed to say doing something to a boathouse,
Correct, repair and replace.
a boathouse. Did it say boathouse?
It does. But I
Okay,
don't know
so
what
then
you-
we have to assume a boathouse, a house that you put a boat in, right?
Probably.
Then what else would a boathouse be?
Well, I don't know what people call a boathouse. I mean.
It's a house that you put a boat in.
Okay, so I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. Yeah, then I'll agree. So you're
Okay.
right.
So these documents describe correcting or repairing a structure you put a boat in. That's everything that you've kind of gone through.
At least maybe one, maybe more.
But is there
Right.
a document that said it wasn't a boathouse
No,
there?
no.
So it's always been a boathouse.
It had to be a boathouse, like Chairman said, probably back in the 78 or 79.
But in 88, the document's
In
there.
88, just says repair, replace boathouse. You're right.
A house that you put
Yeah,
a boat in.
Right.
Okay.
Something happened after that.
Between
What?
between 88 and between 2005, somebody went and took out the use of the boathouse and added a floor and made it a living area, and it could no longer be used to
Yeah.
house a boat.
I would even say probably after 91, because
91,
somebody
right,
went and
because you got up to
inspected it
91,
and
right.
issued a certificate of approval.
So the
Okay.
exhibits that you just read into record, the latest date on one of those UCC records is
It was a 91, it was
91.
1/15/91, it looks like.
inspected and certified. still
Correct.
as
A certificate of approval.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't say more than just a certificate of approval. Nobody says repair, replace boathouse again on this. So I assume that you're right.
It's a house you put a boat in.
Right.
So between 91 and 2005,
It became an
somebody
accessory structure.
made it an
So
accessory.
what I'm trying to do, and you're exactly right, is when my people bought it, they bought it thinking what I'm showing you is there now, was what was there when they bought it. They had no knowledge that somebody may have renovated what should have been a boathouse to to a quarters where you could put a bed in or a ping pong table, like Bill said earlier. And that's why I'm trying to get back with the restrictions that they can't put in a kitchen and they can't put in a bathroom.
And they can't put in the bed that you just mentioned.
Yeah, no bed.
No bad.
Sofa, you can sit, but you can't put a bed in. I agree.
Wouldn't
Yeah, it's all you just said.
Mr. Hammond, I believe that the boathouse was also expanded about 4-6 feet to, towards the house at some point after that 1991.
Correct.
Potentially.
There was an area, I think it was open that you filled in as storage. You put some storage in that
Yeah, the
area.
Storage area in the back, yeah, there was storage in the back.
And you did construct
No, I
that.
didn't do it.
Who did that? You had somebody do it. I don't
My
mean
dad,
you.
yeah.
Oh, your dad
Yeah,
did.
it passed away.
So that was the only item that was added to the rear
roof was still
portion.
there, the roof was there.
Does this picture show it? If I
Yeah,
okay.
The roof is there, and they're the only thing, they closed that up, there's a
Okay.
storage area.
All right, so I'm gonna show you another photo dated the summer of 2005.
Now, this is A10.
A10. And the testimony is that it is the existing boathouse that was there, and you're gonna see to the right of a door is where you close that up for
They
storage.
closed it up,
So there,
yeah.
that's the only change you've
Yeah,
made to
they're
this
the only-
building.
They're the only thing.
All right, so let me,
Did you get a permit for that when you did that?
I don't know, my dad,
Did it.
yeah, but it's not around back the way it was.
I have another copy, so at least I can pass one around while you're listening. I'll make sure you get all the rest of these. I didn't know what we were doing with all that.
Do you have any surveys prior to doing the conversion?
I don't know if I have a survey before they bought it. I do not know. Let me look.
Because you probably expanded the dock also in front of the boat.
Yes,
house, so now
absolutely.
you can't get the boat in, so
Absolutely.
so you probably need variances probably for deck area.
We do.
the Coverage.
There's a ton of variances needed. There's no question.
Mr. Heyman?
Yes.
That A10, is that, when you say it was expanded, is that
To the
where
right.
the door is?
No, you're to the right of that door, Bill, is where they closed that in.
Okay, so that, oh, that's all.
I think that was just an overhang, an open overhang that
Over,
was
yes.
enclosed at some point.
The roof was there, was
On the
always there.
05
The old survey, yes.
That's
The whole survey says that, yeah.
The only thing I have is I have a survey from 1988. I have one copy here. It doesn't really
It
show,
says blue.
yeah, it doesn't show too much. But I have it if you want to see that. I'm marking it. I only have one, but you can have it.
So, in summary, then, what we have is, it's an accessory structure now, it's not a boathouse. We know it was converted sometime after 2000.
After 1991.
And before it was purchased in 2005, we floored over it. And just really an accessory structure that happens to be lakefront.
Correct.
And there was some closing in at the back of it by this applicant or his
father.
after he bought it. So what you're looking for, this accessory structure is permitted, but it's the bulk variance, it's the setbacks. For the board.
Correct, and rather than me go through them, Mr. Donegan outlined all of those in one of, there's many of them, most of them pre-existing because this is what's there. I mean, they're just, I have some, minimum dock side yard setback, you need 10, 10, 10, we have 8, 5, 10, 5, and 19. We have some, we don't have them all. Maximum lot size, 15,000, we have 14,425, because we're here. These are, to me, pre-existing non-conforming variances that we need. We can't change it. It's all there because of what's there. And I have C1s and C2s, yes. And I don't.
C1s you can change.
Right. And I don't know if they were created by, because I don't have any proof that the building changed, other than they changed it from a boathouse, as this gentleman indicated clearly, to some type of a use, an accessory use. And I only know it had to happen between 91 and 2005, and there's no question from what I presented to you, that when they went to buy it, that's what was there in 2005.
Are there other accessory structures on the property?
Is there any other structures on the property besides this, your house? You have a shed, any sheds?
No.
No. And the last time they were here, there was a, what's that thing you had? You had to remove it?
Or the.
The hot tub, the portable hot tub.
The portable hot tub.
And you removed that?
Yeah. I can remove
Yeah,
that
it was a
hot
portable
tub.
hot tub, and it was part of the conditions last time you asked them to remove it, and it's been removed.
Is there a detached garage on the property?
No, there's not there.
So the kitchen's been removed, right?
There is no kitchen, all there is those cabinets.
No water source?
No water source.
Sewer?
No sewer.
Okay. So
there's no plumbing in that building. There never was,
No, there wasn't.
so you're not proposing any.
No, not proposing nothing.
no plumbing to go in, so that there's never an issue about that before the board. We are agreeing to those restrictions. So that I think we conform with probably what's in the area around us.
Essentially, you're here tonight for an as-built.
That's pretty much it, though. I mean, trying to correct, whether or not somebody illegally did this, and I won't say they didn't, I don't know what happened, but my people didn't do it, so.
Yeah, but still, doesn't it behoove the buyer to verify with the town that what they're buying is in fact what's there versus relying on an advertisement that a realtor decides to put in a multiple listing?
Well, even if they did, some of the documents.
Well, but I mean, should they?
Well, I don't know if they should, or the attorney should have,
But should it have been done?
It should. It would be
Okay.
done like that in my
So,
office.
Mr. Hamer,
but I
if
can't
you,
explain
if he
it.
was your attorney and he was buying that house, would you tell him to do your due diligence and make sure that that was all permitted, and everything was done properly?
And we'd probably do it ourselves. My paralegal would probably go to the town and ask for it. But you know what? What's been misleading is the permits and the things that I have may have led us to believe that everything was approved. That's the problem with it. So, when you get that, you don't really know what happened. It's a bit confusing, because when you go through something that you see visually as being a finished space, let's call it, it's different than what those permits are. But I don't know what we would have found. That would have been a very interesting legal decision,
Yeah, well, there's, the last go around, there was nothing prior to 1988 or whatever that was. Anything, any pictures or documentation we have, but it was clearly a boathouse. It was not.
I don't dispute with that with you. I don't have any of those pictures, but I don't have any doubt.
I don't know if we have those as part of the record of the last application. I don't know,
I think we do.
Bill's been pretty upfront with me sharing me stuff, so I don't have any of that, but that's not because I don't think, we just didn't talk about that.
When it was the permits that support the 1988 permits, that actually shows the floor plan, the dimensions of the boathouse and the boat well, and it does show in the dock, the shape of the dock, out in front of where you would come in by boat. It was all documented, because it was approved to rebuild, same size, same location.
Okay. That individual should have come back before the board and asked for a variance use, to convert it to accessory, but they didn't.
Yes.
Yeah. And that.
So you're here now asking us to approve
I'm asking you to.
something that was never approved.
Correct.
Never done
That's
properly.
correct. I'm attempting to correct the situation, and I don't think they should be at fault for. I mean, when they purchased this in 2005, I don't think it's any different than what's in your community. That's the other thing I'm suggesting. So there's plenty of these around.
Yeah, whatever the board might do tonight, if the board acts favorably, would be dependent upon construction permitting, because obviously we can get construction permitting for all this, so it's gonna have to be reviewed in that regard. So that would be a requirement. But the other option, the option is to say, take it down, but I don't know if that's appropriate.
So
What is this?
I mean, my thing is,
is that the refrigerator or dishwasher?
That is refrigerator there.
Refrigerator?
That is.
Small feet.
I mean, it wasn't like somebody built a retaining wall on the property and we say, okay, well, it was done there, we can,
Yeah,
we can deal with. This is a major change from what was there previous and with no approvals, no nothing. I don't feel comfortable approving.
Essentially, they decked over a boat well. That's
Correct.
basically what they did.
Yeah, and made it living
And I-
space.
And I've seen, I live in a lake and I've seen it happen
Yeah.
where people, I don't know why they do it, but I've seen them convert these into sort of man caves and they deck over the boat. Well, I'd never do it. I'd love to have a boat out.
Yeah.
But they do. And they, so that's essentially what happened here. The difference is this was done without any permitting and it someplace between apparently 1991 and 2005.
And so the issue really is you're right, they should have come in. I don't really feel that my client should be blamed for that, and that's why I am asking you to correct the situation that was evolved. But I also don't think if they came in, I can't speak for you, or Mr. Ray, you may have even been back here, so I've been here for many years. It would have probably been approved to change it, so, because that's all around your community.
Just on that point, I mean, part of it is, certainly the human element, why should someone be held accountable or responsible? But also by having the permits and all of that, there's an issue of safety. I mean, if these building enhancements were made without any review, and you say, well, it's not my fault, does that make the building safe because it didn't have those building reviews done?
You're right, but what Mr. Haggerty said, I think should be a condition that we have to go and get the construction permits and everybody has to come in and look at it, whether it's plumbing, building, whoever has to look at it.
But the second.
No, they was not plumbing, you're right, but construction.
But if the board acts favorably, there should be a prohibition against use of this structure until construction permitting is issued.
That's fine.
That there's no use of this whatsoever until.
I would agree to
But the
that.
other, you're gonna tell the guy, well, rip out your deck, restore the boat house. I don't think so. And I think if the applicant, if the property then property owner had come in and said, I'd like to board over my boat well and change nothing else, I don't know that we would have had a real basis to deny that. I mean, who cares? Right?
Well, we've had them. We had that one on Lakeside Boulevard. They wanted to put the dance floor on the deck and we denied it. I mean, it's not real, it's not what it's intended for.
Well, so
There were
this
other
is-
factors in that one.
Yeah,
though.
so we started the application with a precursor, right, from our board attorney regarding not hearing a use variance. That was already pre-discussed. So as we look back to unravel the 91 to 2005, from a planning perspective and your zoning code, we are essentially, the applicant is asking for an approval of an accessory structure. What was a boathouse converted to an accessory structure. Now we need to narrowly band any consideration of an approval to what's appropriate to that accessory structure, particularly in its location, lakefront, and its setbacks to neighbors and others. In the absence of a planner presenting for the applicant, I'm going to kind of discuss this a little bit, right? So in conversion of a garage to a habitable living space, right, a detached garage, you would consider the setback to the neighbors and the appropriateness of that use of, say, converting it to a man cave, TVs, refrigerators, wood shop, where you might inhabit the area at late hours of the night. You should have the same considerations towards the converted boathouse and activities that may occur in that space. So you're gonna wanna consider what is appropriate prohibitions in that space. Plumbing, toilets, that's all already off the table, right? We've already discussed that in a prior application. It's not part of this application, and we know that that's not what they're seeking tonight. But how that space is still used as an empty square footage of habitable space needs to be considered for both the positives and negatives of the use in that space. So as it relates to any public hearing, neighbors, and the generality of the zone conformity.
I think the other thing too is the expansion of the dock. That looks like it was a pretty significant expansion to the dock, considering it was a boathouse before. And I think, there's not a lot of detail wrapped
So as
around
you
this other
lose-
than a dimension or two.
As you lose the dock, right? As you lose the boathouse for the dock, then you extend, and so one begets the other. And so to come holistically tonight, they're looking for the right to convert the boathouse to an accessory structure, narrowly banded to what we would find appropriate for uses in that accessory structure. That may include specific restrictions of, no overnight stay, hours of use, et cetera, right? As well as then what that does for the potential of the variance, the C2 variance on the boat, on the dock. And if we need perhaps as-builts for verification by your end.
And Mr. Chairman, I have a planner, but she's on vacation, so I didn't want to stop the application tonight. So if that's something the board would rather hear, some additional testimony with regard to uses and the variances, then, I would carry this and ask her to come in next time.
I mean, what is your opinion, Joe? Should they be afforded that? I mean, listen, you show us your positive criteria for having this, and we can say why we don't think it's a good idea. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
It's the applicant's decision on whether they would like to proceed or not, right? I can't recommend that.
okay.
You
I would say
want them
the
to,
board-
you want them to present their full application, because
Correct.
that's a reason for them to appeal.
Yeah.
You didn't allow them to full up.
So if they choose
I
to
wouldn't do that.
proceed without that professional,
I wouldn't do that, Mr. Rushing. Let's try.
their own expectations of what the board understands a uses on your dock to be appropriate within the zone.
Yeah, I feel more comfortable that you hear that. I mean, obviously, I'd like to make sure that the record is clear. Mr. Haggerty has pointed out a very key component. There's, if you don't like it, you're gonna ask them to take it down. And that's gonna cause a big rigmarole. I mean, that's a big expense, and it's really a severe situation, I think. Because I think they could come back again and rebuild it. I mean, they could take it down and come before you and say, now I want to put this up here, something, whatever that fits. So we're gonna could be back again at that point. So, but Mr. Rag, I mean, like I said, I told her, I said, look, I'm gonna go because we've been waiting for a while, and we have court, I keep adjourning because I had to get here first. So, I think it's probably a better idea that I at least give you all the positives versus the negatives and the uses, and then it will give you all a better understanding as to saying yay or nay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
You're asking that the application be carried to give you time to have a planner?
Well, I have a plan to make sure she,
Well, to
yeah,
present the
yeah,
plan.
it's August, it's vacation, it's.
I mean, if you want to carry this application till you have a planner available, this way our planner can rebut whatever
Yeah.
her, we can go back and forth,
Yeah, I'll probably have them put a report into you so you can have something in advance. Yeah, so that's what I would be asking you, yes.
Okay, so you want to carry this,
I just have to hear your dates.
what's a good date?
September 17th?
September 17th,
No,
too soon?
No?
Not for me.
Okay,
That's a Tuesday, I think.
yes.
They're always
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I'm coming back from vacation. I'm on the vacation the 11th to the 17th in September, so give me another one and
October 1st or October 15th?
I think October 1st is going to work. I think the 15th is. Let me just check something. I just want to make sure my calendar. Is October 1st or the 15th? Why? You got something going on? You have a problem? Okay. What day is the 15th? That's a.
Tuesday, they're always Tuesday.
I know. But I gotta make sure I'm
It
not,
was always Tuesday.
I gotta make sure I'm not in another town that night, but that's fine. Yes, October 15th would work.
Okay,
Yes, okay.
so you're asking for a motion to carry this application to October 15th without further notice, Bill?
Yeah, yes, but hold on, we have members of the public. You understand, would you folks be available to come back on the 15th?
Can we speak
But
now?
if you're gonna speak now, just keep in mind, this is not a use variance application.
We
This is not.
understand that.
Okay, so I
We
think
would
it's
like to
inevitable
say-
you're gonna get into that.
I just want to ask, are they gonna ask questions of my client?
No, we're not gonna ask questions.
The statements
I have
aren't.
only one
important.
question to ask.
question that I have a problem with, but statements before we're done is an issue that I don't really want to see, so.
I have,
They gotta be sworn in. Your testimony, you should wait till the end of the hearing to give your testimony.
I would wait till
okay,
they're done present, doing their presentation, then you can come up and, so I would suggest that you wait till.
Well, was anything that has been said so far an issue? I mean, separate.
Of course.
Well, yeah, I don't think
Everything,
I think we should
everything.
just leave it as it is for now and.
different view of reality.
Okay,
Completely different view.
What I suggest the public, if you're going to do that, make sure you have enough copies of whatever you're gonna.
He brought
copies
16
for it.
copies.
And then a chronology, so
We
that
have
they're
it
all
all.
keyed
We
out.
have it all.
We came prepared.
Very good, understood.
This has been 2 years and 3 summers.
Okay, all right, good. Make it easy for the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
so,
that's really good.
so we'll carry this till October 15th without further notice.
Thank you.
And you'll have your planner here and.
And Amy, I'm gonna just make sure that I have all the exhibits because they're all messed up, so I'll get a hold of you to make sure I get them all.
Perfect. What is the usage allowed in the meantime? Because I know there's no C of O in the boathouse, and they were told that they shouldn't be using it, and they use it all the time.
If there's no CO, they shouldn't use the boathouse.
We never, nobody ever told us about the whole house. We just going in now, nobody sleeps in there, we just.
In the minutes, the last minutes of this meeting in June or July 6th, when it came up a year ago, Mr. Haggerty stated that they could not use a boathouse, and I do have
It's
that.
in the minutes.
It is also stated in the memorialization that they cannot use the boathouse.
And they use
You
it
know,
So,
all the
so
time.
Bill, is this an
They've been using it for
enforcement?
3
How does
years.
how do we handle that?
Well, that's an enforcement issue. This board is not the enforcing
It's not for.
agent, that is the zoning office.
Okay,
But,
And
and we,
that's Phil.
Yeah, but what would seriously, as far as them using it, what would I base my,
If there's no CO, they shouldn't be using it.
It can't be occupied if there's no CO.
Then I just, no zoning approval?
No.
Maybe Bill has to issue an unsafe.
Well, see, they're ongoing, they're up at like $800,000 in fines right now, theoretically,
Yeah,
so
you can't go
you
any
know, they
further
got
with
the
that,
alleys.
but maybe Bill could put the red sticker on the door or something saying unsafe structure, if they don't have permits for it, do something like that. He's got one more step, to enforcement.
Right.
all right, so you know what you gotta do, Bill? You got a little
no more
guidance?
summonses, we already have a summons, we're already under that, I mean, I'm already in court, so the only reason it's delayed is until we decide what happens here, that's the deal we struck.
I mean, I don't know, I guess Mr. O'Connor could do the unsafe structure, because effectively they're, that's on the floor and safe, I guess.
Well, if he does that, we'll figure that out at that point in time.
All right, you're comfortable with that, Bill? I mean, that's, okay, so then that's where we'll go, and October 15th, come back and
Okay.
bring whatever you got. So, okay,
See you, Bill.
all right,
See you, Bill.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'll open the meeting to the public. Does anybody from the public wish to comment? Okay, seeing none, close it to the public, and bring it back to the board. Next item is adjournment. I'll request a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Good job, Judy. All right, we're done.
Okay.
Very